Hi, welcome to this edition of 10 in 10, where we look at 10 education technology topics and squeeze it into 10 minutes. Sometimes we get through the 10 minutes, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we're right on the 10 minutes. Let's see how we get through today. Today, our topic is 10 education technology books in 10 minutes. So we're going to look at all these 10 books, see what they are. Hopefully, one of them will interest you. You'll go out and get it and you'll read it. So let's take a look at that first book. The first book is called Getting Smart by Tom Vander Ark. And Getting Smart by Tom Vander Ark is a book that's about how we can use digital technology to change not only the way students learn, but the way we teach. This book talks a lot about blended learning, how you combine the classroom with online. It talks a lot about flipped learning. It talks about how students are engaged more when they use technology. It's a great book to talk about like an introduction to education technology. Getting Smart, How Digital Learning is Changing the World by Tom Vander Ark. That's a great book. Our next book is called Literacy is Not Enough, and it's by Lee Crockett and Ian Jukes and Andrew Churches. And this book talks about those literacies that we've all grown up with, reading, writing, and arithmetic. It's not enough anymore. We have to teach our students, we have to teach our kids how to be literate in a digital world, a global world. So they have to be literate not only in how to communicate with other students electronically. They have to be literate on how to do research online. They have to be literate on how to vet things. This book is about those literacies that our students need to learn beyond just the typical literacies that we discuss in class. So literacy is not enough. 21st century fluencies for the digital age. That's a really good book to get going in your introduction to education technology. Our next book is a really neat book. I know the author actually of this book, Will Richardson. It's called Personal Learning Networks. Now what's neat about this book is that we're all familiar with personal learning communities, but those personal learning communities are pretty much where we're at in our geographical location. What a personal learning network is a book that teaches you how to use the whole world, how to broaden not only your scope within where you're at, but how to use the internet to connect with like-minded teachers that are teaching what you're teaching that can help you with your professional development. Personal Learning Networks by Will Richardson and Rob Mankabelli is a really, really good book to get you going from moving from a professional learning community into a professional learning network. The next book is called The Connected Educator, and that's another one where I know the author, and this is Cheryl Nussbaum Beach and Lanny Ritter Hall. This book is interesting because kind of like the Professional Learning Network, the previous book shows you the why of why you want to become a connected. The Connected Educator actually shows you how to do it, and there's lots of exercises in there. Each chapter has an exercise on a particular tool like Twitter and Dropbox and things like that, how to use groups and wikis and things like that. So the Connected Educator is actually it's kind of like a course on how to become connected with other teachers throughout the world. The Connected Educator, Learning and Leading in a Digital Age by Cheryl Nussbaum Beach and Lanny Ritter Hall. Really good book. The next one is by Lisa Nielsen and Wylan Webb, and this is called Teaching Generation Text. And I brought this book up because this book talks about how a teacher can use students' cell phones to teach. And I know that we kind of like are, we shouldn't be using cell phones in class, but you know what? That's going against the tide, and soon a lot of districts are going to be doing bring your own device, including our own. And so how do you use these tools that students already have that they're going to be bringing to class? Instead of fighting them, use those tools as learning devices. Teaching Generation Text shows teachers how to use these cell phones and their smartphones to actually turn them into learning devices and not just texting with each other kind of devices. So Teaching Generation Text, using cell phones to enhance learning, really nice book. The next book is the classic book on education technology, and this is called Disrupting Class by Clayton Christensen. And this book was written quite a few years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago. But what's neat about this book is how it talks about how technologies come in and they change the way not only the way we teach, but also the way students learn and how it's disrupting education. And when he talks about disrupting, he doesn't mean it in a bad way. He doesn't mean it like it's like a horrible thing. He means it disrupting as in it just changes the paradigms that we use in education. Disrupting class, how disruptive innovation will change the way the world learns. We see it right now. Everybody that's probably using an iPad, that's an example of a disruptive technology. Anybody that's using thin clients or Chromebooks, those are disruptive technologies coming into classrooms. So, Disrupting Class by Clayton Christensen, one of the classics in education technology. Our next book is, this is a pretty new book. This came out just a little while ago. It's called The New School, and it's kind of similar to Getting Smart by Vander Ark. Is that this is by Glenn Harlan Reynolds, The New School, and what he talks about is how technology will change the way students learn and how classes are moving online. And if you don't believe that classes are moving online or that's something important that we need to teach our students, go to a college or go to a community college and find out, look in their catalog and find out how many courses are taught online. You'd be surprised how many courses are being taught online. And that's a skill set that we need to be teaching our students. The New School talks about how new technologies are changing the way our students are learning. So that's a really great book, The New School by Glenn Harlan Reynolds. Next book, 21st Century Skills. I know Bernie Trilling. He actually did an interview with me. And this book is, what are those skills that students need to learn? This is very similar to the book on the new literacies, or literacy is not enough. 21st century skills, what are those skills? We always hear that term, 21st century learning. What are those skills? This is a great introduction to that topic. What are skills that students need to know beyond what we're already teaching them? What are those topics? So 21st Century Skills by Bernie Trilling, great book to introduce you to the 21st century learning community. Our next book is a nice book about how we need to change the environment that we teach. You know, we talk about how technology is changing things and how disruptive technology is, but the classrooms stay the same. The physical buildings stay the same. So David Thornburg wrote a book called From the Campfire to the Holodeck, and it explains how the actual physical space of a school can change. And what's neat about this book is that he explains to teachers how you don't have to build a new building to change the learning space within your own classroom. And so he gives some really good examples of how teachers just have changed their own four-sided classroom box into a holodeck, into a campfire, into a cave. These are all terms that he uses for learning spaces. And so From the Campfire to the Holodeck, a really interesting book by David Thornburg. The last book we're going to look at today is called Evidence-Based Design of Elementary and Secondary Schools. And that sounds like a mouthful, and it really is. This is more of it's kind of almost like a textbook on how schools should be designed. But Peter C. Lippman is a very, very good architect and a very good author. He lives in Australia, and what he does is he explains not only how schools should change and how they should be designed, but why they should change, why they should be designed differently to meet the needs of our students. So this is a really interesting book. If you're interested at all in school design and how new schools should be designed, if you're in a neighborhood where they're talking about a new school being built, this is the book to start off with. Evidence-Based Design of Elementary and Secondary Schools by Peter C. Lippman. It's a really interesting book, and I think that you'd enjoy it, especially if you're interested in how schools are designed. So let's look at those 10 books again. Those books are Getting Smart by Tom Vander Ark, Literacy is Not Enough by Ian Jukes, Personal Learning Networks by Will Richardson, The Connected Educator by Cheryl Nussbaum Beach, Teaching Generation Next by Lisa Nielsen, Disrupting Class by Clayton Christensen, The New School by Glenn Harlan Reynolds, The 21st Century Skills by Bernie Trilling, Campfire and Holodeck by Thornburg, and Evidence-Based Design by Lippman. 10 books. That's your summer reading. There'll be a quiz next year. See you later. Bye-bye.